difficulty settings in the main menu. So a lot of people just go here and they look at this and they don't see difficulty settings and they forget about it, right? But like, might as well just load the game up here. Two seconds, chat. All right. Into Brainrot we go. Also that, too, right? He already back, Wretched Television. I mean, Dwarf Fortress already has metas, and the meta strategy is very uninteresting, so nobody in their right mind does it, Mark Gordon, which is, like, drawbridges are the strongest thing in the game right now. But no, I mean, like, right now in the game, you can just go to your difficulty settings. There's enemies off normal hard. There should be another one here for sieges, which should be, like, simple, hard, advanced, or whatever. Like, simple should just be, like, the current sieges that we have. Hard should be, like, okay, maybe they can build and knock down walls, and then advanced would be everything, you know? But then, like, there's custom settings where you can just, like, literally tweak every single thing in the game to make it whatever difficulty you want. Like, there is ridiculous amount, like, to anybody who complains about elves saying you can't chop down trees, like, you can literally just, like, set the number to whatever the fuck you want. Like, if you're on good terms with the elves in a wilderness map, they'll let you do 25. I've seen this number go as high as 40, because it's, like, there's a sliding scale of how many you can chop down. And then if you don't have good, or if you're rather in a Untamed Wilds, they'll give you, I think it's 5 to 7. But, like, it depends on how much they like you, and you can tweak those numbers. So you could be like, okay, so in an Untamed Wilds, I want them to let me chop down 60 trees before they attack me. Yes, they do. Wretched Television. They're called mushroom trees. So, like, you know, this should be prompted at the beginning in a more clear fashion. And if you prepare, like, before the prepare carefully screen pops up, this stuff, to their credit, is there. It's on the right half of the screen. It's, like, over here. Right before you start preparing carefully, it's, like, surfaced there. But, like, the game doesn't really draw much attention to it, and I think most people just ignore it. Also, when they see enemies off normal and hard, hard just makes more bigger sieges arrive. That's all it does right now. Oh, yeah. I mean, my last fort got attacked by goblins, humans, and elves almost simultaneously once, which was really funny because I was burning the elves and then suddenly... No, I was burning the goblins and then suddenly there was, like, giant animals appearing out of nowhere because I hadn't de-stealthed yet, but the goblins could see them, so the goblins were fighting with them, but I couldn't see them, so suddenly there was just, like, dead giant animals, and then a human siege arrived. So yes, that can happen, Fold. That's been a thing as long as I've played this game. As long as I've played this game, I've had, like... goblins discover, elves discover, or get it, and then also get attacked by humans or whatever. The thing that I really want to see, which is in the trailer, and I've talked about this many times already today, but I'm going to mention it again, is in the trailer, when the baddies are walking into your fort here, right? There is... These two dudes that you see. This guy. It's the first guy. And this guy. The second guy. Those are demonic overlords, so the leaders of the goblin factions, who already can attack you. I've literally never seen it happen in 10,000 hours of playtime, but maybe once every 3 months or so, somebody will pop into my chat and say, is this normal? And then they'll just, like, screenshot an image of, like, the goblin overlord invading them. But, like, you basically don't see this. Like, it's not a thing that occurs. But it can happen already. So if this is going to be a more emphasized thing, that's exciting. But what I want... The thing that I want more than anything is I want a demonic overlord of a goblin faction with deadly dust to appear, and then an agitated raven to dive bomb him while he's heading towards the fortress, and just make a fucking... I think these are different sieges, Mareb. I'm pretty sure that those two scenes are from different enemy sieges. The magic of video editing. But I just want him to have deadly dust, and just send his entire army fucking flying. You know, just like, oh no, I'll fly, boom, and then just a bomb goes off. That's what I want to see. That's the comedy I'm waiting for. That's what I want to witness. That's what I want to see. I'm looking forward to that. You know, just like expel a bunch of poison gas that puts all of his soldiers to sleep. And just like, you know, paralyzes them or something. If you read the update that they posted today, you'll see that some things will work, some things won't. We don't have a complete list yet. Sisyphus. As an example, apparently the trolls will still be able to dig, and they'll be able to break down walls. Traditionally, if new buildings are added to the game, you don't get the access to those buildings unless you update the game, but honestly, I have no idea. I know exactly as much as you guys do. If you guys know something, that's all I know. The only thing that I had as an advantage here as a special individual on the internet who has people who watches things so he gets stuff early sometimes is I got a link to the trailer unlisted on YouTube at like 5 o'clock yesterday. That's the only thing I knew that you guys didn't, was I knew that it was going to release on the 3rd of November, yeah, halfway through yesterday. A trailer? Chat, you tell them. My mods don't even know what the fuck I'm up to. Yeah, you know the thing that you pull behind a car? We gotta take out the trash later, Suited. So start packing your bags. We gotta throw all of these Miku figurines into this trailer. You're checked out this week, mate? I have a headache. I ain't got time for your checking out. Siege update releases on the 3rd of November. Do you remember? No more DF? I mean, it's where the money's at, right? I'm definitely not playing DF right now. Yeah. Well, I said we have to take this trash out, and it was the first thing that came to mind. I'm like trying to. I used to be subscribed to somebody who had a Miku emote, which was just a trash bin with Miku hair sticking out, and I missed that emote. I don't have a single Miku figurine. I actually don't have a single figurine. I have lots of tape decks, though. Some of them work. I've got piles of houseplants. Many, 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 many houseplants. YouTube chat is accusing me of being weeb trash, and I'll have you know, I dated weeb trash for years, and never again. I'm cured of that disease, thankfully. I don't know what that is. And you know what? I don't want to know what that is. Dracogen. Disgusting. Geek 2 games. I'll have you know that, like, there are very few things in the world that I am, like, actively repulsed by. Weeb culture is one of them. I will mock it, because I think it's funny, but, like, yikes. I mean, it's fun to make jokes about it, but... I mean, I've seen an anime, several of them, as many of you probably have. You know, I've seen, like, most of Full Metal Alchemist. It was okay. I read Death Note once because I was a child. But I'm about to ban Soki01 for calling me that offensive term. Frankly, my heart is distraught, and I am in a state of panic having read such a disgusting thing. Soki, grow the fuck up. Walk outside once in a while and touch some moss. I mean, hi. What are we up to today? We are playing Dwarf Fort, believe it or not. This is a fortress with very few dwarves and many gremlins. And I need to take this hoodie off because my computer is warming this room up finally. Ah. Inoculated you from anime forever? I would say that the anime fandom inoculated me from anime forever. The buttons were there to be pushed? Yeah, I have 3 buttons here. One says ban, one says timeout, and the other one says delete. I haven't clicked any of them there, but they're there to be pushed. Just as you say. They're right there. And they can be pushed. I won't do it, don't worry. But jokes aside, I'm just kind of indifferent. Don't really care. It's one of those, like, no interests thing. Doesn't do anything for you. Or me. Does that exist? Or when you have many Miku figurines, do you just become a houseplant? Because that's about how useful you are to society? Except, like, somehow worse because all you do is consume oxygen? Anyway, so this is a fort of many gremlins. The gremlins have names. Some of them do. We got Snail, Zachary, Neezer, and Kevin, as well as Bootlegger and Amything and Lederan. Now, the 2 that are blinking are both legendary comedians because all they do is go around telling jokes, which is really fucking funny to me. We've got 2 of them. We got Kevin and Bootlegger. They are both legendary comedians. Literally, that's all they do. They just walk in circles and they... That, yeah. We also have giant crabs. And we also have snakes. And we're about to have more snakes. 32 more soon. As for this fort, it is small. That is it. And I would like to mess around with necromancy in this fort. But right now, there isn't too much I can do because the population is very small, similar to the map. However, these gremlins have to eat and drink food, and eat and drink alcohol or water. So they keep drinking all my booze and eating all my food. So currently, the absolute maximum priority is provide meat because they don't eat veggies. They literally just eat meat. Yeah, it's a 1x1 fort, right? It is in fact in the title. So because they only eat meat, I'm constantly like butchering and farming for livestock. We are trying to build an army of the Poison King cobras, and I'm in the background trying to build a functional fort. We've got some bedrooms. We've got this, and the caverns are also very small. This is where we're getting our wood. So I'm trying to get a like functional trap thing set up so that we can catch animals that come in from the caverns. Down here we have a shit ton of Rothrurs, which I would like to catch, and maybe farm as well. But if I go down, we get this one, the next cavern layer. This cavern layer is nice looking, honestly. I think it's pretty. And over here I have my. It was originally exploratory, but this over here is where we found the caverns or the magma sea, and down here is where I'm eventually going to start digging around in the magma sea. I'm not sure if I'm going to pump lava or if I'm going to just simply go down here and start, harvesting lava. We'll figure it out. So fruit ends up on the ground magically every fall, Dracogen, because it grows in the summer and it lands on the ground in the fall. If you do this and click this, they will only harvest what lands on the ground in the fall. You're welcome. And Tibe, you want a unnameable name? I will not give you that. If you would like to give me a respectable name for a normal dwarf, I will do that. Otherwise, I will ignore you for the next 90 seconds and then name one after you. Smile. And also, it's unfortunate. I could give you that name if I was capable of naming a pile of vomit, but maybe if we get a Forgotten Beast made of vomit. Twitch hates you today? Why that? Tibet wants me to name a dwarf Otaku McWeeb. Man, I wish I had a troglodyte. If I had a troglodyte in a cage, I would name a troglodyte Otaku McWeeb. There are 2 troglodytes on the map. Also, wouldn't Otaku McWeeb literally have to have a beard? Just saying. Both of the named dwarf, or both of the named kobolds that are comedians that are legendary are named already. Sup, Killjoy? It's a quantity platter, not a variety platter. Geek 2 Games. I mean, we can name a dwarf, like, Weeby Mix something if you insist, but I'm mostly just playing it up. The question is, which one do you want? Tibet. I will probably put Tibet in brackets just so that we know that the crime is directed at you for all eternity. Although, wouldn't a weeb dwarf have to, like, want to fall into delusional, like, what is it? Would rather disappear into a world of made-up fantasy than handle specific practical issues or whatever it is? I always think of those as, like, D&D players, but... O-N-U-L. That's a lady, sir? But... Otaku... McWeeb. Tibet. There you go. See, like this. You did this. This is your problem. This is your fault. She presents herself modestly and frowns on any flashy accoutrements and prefers to be alone. Fair. Does not have a great aesthetic. With a name like that, I would too. Does not have a great aesthetic sensitivity. Is conflicted by this. She values artwork in its creation. She is occasionally, so she likes art, but she's bad at it. Got it. She occasionally overindulges, is passive in discussions, tends to hold on to grievances, generally acts with a narrow focus on the current activity, can easily fall in love or develop positive feelings, reads a lot of fanfiction, I guess, is somewhat quarrelsome and is bothered by this, and she does values friendship. She is curious and eager to learn, and she does not easily hate or develop negative feelings, and she tends to share her own experience and thoughts with others, and stares intently when she's thinking, and needs alcohol to get through the working day and doesn't care about anything anymore. Dreams of creating a great work of art. Yeah, don't we all? And personally values loyalty and finds leisure time wasteful. Bullshit. And likes Lemonite and Gold and Onyx Opal as well as Tower Cap Wood and Leopard Gecko Tooth. Coyote Parchment and Bucklers and Catapult Parts. And Donkeys for their stubbornness. And Rios McCommon for their mischief in the words of the Book of Reticence and the Sight of the Larks of Luxury. And when possible, prefers to consume Dwarven wine and can't stand toads. It is. Gruff the Wolf. Do leopard gecko have teeth? Speaking of do leopard geckos have teeth, hi Kip Fox, what's up? How goes trailer release day? I have a headache. That's how my trailer release day is going. But we're getting through it one day at a time. Like, kinda? I take that as a no then. I'm trying to decide what to do with this, because it's an aquifer ball. So, as you can see, the map's small. I don't really have much space. But I can go around this way. I don't know what I will do with it, or if I should actually do that. But I'm thinking about maybe going down 2 levels here. Maybe starting about right there, and then trying to, like, get water coming from up here. So, like, basically venting water into there so that I have power. You know, as somebody who knows a lot of influencers, I have to say even, like, people who preach that kind of stuff generally aren't actually rise and grind in the way that they want people to think that they are. All right. The update is, I mean, the one that I keep seeing, okay, Fox, is that it isn't entirely clear what will and what won't be available if you don't generate a new world. So, like, as an example, it says, like, trolls and behaviors, right? But presumably all the old Siege equipment would stay the same, right? That's the thing that I've been wondering. I also want to know who owns the harp. Did Tarn learn how to play the harp, or is that Tarn's partner that plays the harp? Who plays the harp? And that's all I have to say. Who plays the harp? Do Leopard Gecko Have Teeth is the sequel to Blade Runner book. What, do androids dream of electric sheep? I guess so. You just don't want your worlds to be Swiss cheese? Yeah, that's the other thing, is, like, how ridiculous is the digging going to be? Yeah, I was, like, zooming in on the trailer to try and see if I could read the sheet music. But unfortunately, it's not a high enough resolution webcam, which I'm rather disappointed by. Oh yeah, also I'm building a bridge here so that I can seal off this chunk of caverns. So at the very least, I won't have Forgotten Beasts appearing right next to my door into the fort. But we're about to get hit by some ads, so I will pause the game when the ads start. All right, let's go along the top up here and just go. There we go. Man, 28. That's a bummer. Okay, fine. Let's throw in 2 boulders. I don't have many dwarves, and this fort has many gremlins, so we're, you know. In fact, why not? Let's dedicate this one to Kit Fox, who is an adequate persuader and intimidator. Not much in the comedian sense. Can observe and has been in a fight before, clearly. Is 321 years old. 321, I see that. And is currently sleeping on some cave floor, but is inebriated, so life ain't that bad. Is shameless and absolutely unfazed by the thoughts of others after being naked, quite literally. Is prone to strong feelings of lust and is sloppy with her living space and has an overbearing personality and doesn't mind a little tumult and discord in day-to-day living. Is a friendly individual and tends to form only tenuous emotional bonds with others. We're in an ad break now. I mean, if you lock a troll underground in an area that they can't escape from, yeah, would they dig off the map? I wonder. A name in YouTube chat. Like, if you cage trap a troll and then huck him into a hole, will he start digging his way out? I kind of like that they don't need clothing until they suddenly have to match with dwarven society. It would be neat, yeah, it would be neat if they could make their own clothing. Like, you know, if they make clothing, it would just be sized for them or something. We'll dig down to get friends. Actually, that's a funny concept. But this gremlin is generally acts impartially, is rarely moved to mercy, and finds obligations confining, and is not inherently proud of her talents and accomplishments. Tends to not be swayed by emotional appeals, and tends to ask others for help with difficult decisions, and doesn't really care about anything anymore. I don't know if I would say it's automatic. I feel like they would probably just like you know how dwarves sometimes beeline in one direction? YouTube chat? Like I would imagine they'll just beeline in one direction off the map, right? Although the trailer shows the troll doing something that dwarves can't do, which is literally digging on the edge of the map, which is something dwarves are currently incapable of doing. Like, dwarves cannot dig right on the edge of the map. So, trolls already have an unfair advantage. Actually, Kit Fox, something that I would like to know is in the trailer, we have digging animations. And the two questions I have regarding the digging animations and like the damaging walls animations is, are the dwarves going to have those same animations? Like, I'm just trying to find the scene. The scene right here. These. Are the dwarves going to have those animations when they're digging? And the second question is, does that mean we may see animations for combat? Is that something that's happening? Or is that just, just for digging? Because we do have, like, little swoop animations for the adventure mode stuff that I know a lot of people want to see work its way into fort mode. I should just leave this up so I don't have to go dig it out of my files every single time I want to ask a question. We need if... I hope that wasn't actually the edge of the map. That's just a visual effect of the enemies digging in. It looks like the edge, and I don't know if it is the edge. You don't know if you can stomach that. The thing is, we can't see the minimap in the footage, so we don't actually know like how close that is to the surface. Lost my spoon? Like, that could be like a rocky wasteland map that is one tile from the surface, and the dwarves may have obliterated every other siege, you know? Because, like, dwarves can't build on the edge on the surface, right? But you can build on the edge underground, like in the cavern layers. So you'd be able to reinforce those if they did dig through them. Is elevation 23. Okay, so they are digging pretty deep then. I think, like, that's maybe the biggest concern that I've seen from people is just, like, how much are the goblins going to be able to dig? Because I'm kind of in the same boat there. It's like, if they're just going to show up and dig all the way down, that's kind of a lot, you know? Building on water from the trailer? Dwarves can build over water. There was supports. They're not just... They didn't build, like, a singular platform in the middle of the water. What are you talking about? Let me find that sequence. Like this? It's floor piece, floor piece, floor piece. Unless you're talking about building under the bridge. But it's floor piece, floor piece, floor piece. And then they're knocking down the bridge, I presume. Yeah, it's not just like a floating piece, if that's what you're saying. Because it does kind of look like a raft, doesn't it? But no, it's floor piece, floor piece, floor piece. It's three floor pieces. Where's the other? And then, like, this, like, it's stairs. So do wooden floors look different now? No? What? I mean, not now. I mean, those aren't wood. Those are definitely stone. But it just looks like goblin constructions look different. Which makes sense, because they're not dwarven constructions. But it does look like that's a different... Like, what's the word? That's a different look than dwarven floors. Like, they have more depth. Almost. Which makes me wonder if our floors are going to have more depth. But I've scanned this trailer like a dozen times, and I haven't seen anything of, like, dwarven floors. So I mean, the stairs look the same, so I presume that most of the constructions are going to look the same, but it's just a little curious. Would you like a toggle for enemies rescuing their allies from cage traps? I would like... Okay, so here's what I would like. I would like toggles for everything, and I would like a full-screen difficulty screen at the start of a new fort. Right now, when you start a new fort, it just says, play now, and then the difficulty stuff's over on the right, and I think everybody ignores that. But the number of times I've had people in my chat state that something is... Oh, wow, the game was on pause. State that something is frustrating to them. There's buzzards and ravens fighting again. And then I'm like, you can just turn that off in the difficulty settings. They don't realize that this screen exists. So I think, like, something that a lot of other games do really well is they front load you with the difficulty options. And I think the game just needs to punch you in the head with them when you start a fort when this update comes out. I need to turn on my light, because it's a bit dim in here. Because currently I feel like the game kind of doesn't do that. Like, it does do that. Like, when you start, like, when you have the prepare carefully button, over on the right side of the screen, there is, like, the difficulty options. I'd be willing to bet, like, 90% of the player base has never seen that screen. I think what it should do is it should say, hey, like, just, especially, like, the first time you launch the game, after it, like, sort of like where the tutorial screen pops up, where it just says, would you like to ever see this screen again? And you can just toggle it off in the options, where it says, hey, how do you want the default difficulties? Would you like to toggle anything off? I think it needs to be a little bit more transparent about the fact that you can literally toggle everything. Because, like, this screen is here, but it hides. I think what a lot of people do is they go to the main menu, they click on settings, and they don't see difficulty options. And that's where people expect those to be. Like, I would almost go to the main menu and put a tab that's just like a red herring almost that says difficulty, and it says difficulty options can be adjusted in fort mode. Or whatever. The fact that that tab isn't seeable freaks me out. And, like, people... I love you guys. You guys don't read. Neither do I. But, like, people don't read. And I've already seen, like, 4 or 5 comments on my video stating that I hope that we can turn this off. And I'm pretty sure it's stated in the trailer that you can disable it. So, like, make it clear. That's all I can say. Like, I'm looking forward to all this stuff, and I can't wait to ratchet it up to 11 and see how psychotic things get. But, like, not everybody's me. And I acknowledge this. In fact, I would say most people aren't, in fact. Like, I feel like a lot of people are going to have individual pieces of this update that they really like, and pieces of it that they want to tone down. Like, maybe you really want the ability for trolls and goblins to be able to free their friends, and you want them to build into your fort and bring siege engines and cooler enemies, but you don't want them to dig. Or maybe you just want them to dig, and you don't really want to have to deal with, I don't know, certain types of enemies showing up. Maybe you literally... Like, something that I was talking about before you got here, actually, is, like, in the difficulty options, there should be, like, because we have these defaults, right? Which is enemies off, normal, and hard, which is just amount of baddies. There should be another one beneath this that just says sieges. Basic, normal, advanced, or something. If that makes any sense. And basic would just be what we have right now, but maybe with more enemy variety. Normal would be like they knock stuff down and dig and do what they do, whatever the default settings the game ships with is. And then advanced could be like either just the custom options or like turn the numbers up to stupid. Sort of like how hard does. Like, if I set the game to hard most of the time, I get siege like twice a season, which is ridiculous. But, like, I think the game needs to surface that stuff. That's my only real concerns. It's good to see you, Wolves. It's good to see you, man. I have a curse of going after optimization, and Dwarf Fortress doesn't punish you enough for playing boring. What do you mean? You've lurked a bit recently? Well, it's good to have you around, man. Appreciate it. Turn the numbers up to stupid. Yeah! So the game can go full hamsters on this shit. Sometimes I just say words and I'd forget that words have meaning. The wiki is unclear. Forgotten beasts spawn at cavern edges. They spawn in the region. So each region has certain forgotten beasts, and the quote-unquote closer to your population that they exist, that's where they appear. But no, they don't spawn, they wander into the map. If you haven't discovered all of the visual area where they could wander into the map, it might appear like they show up in the middle, but they wander in from the edges. They don't wander in from the middle. Unless you've done some really weird shenanigans with like your map sizing stuff. Sometimes they can just appear in the middle of the map, but they're not supposed to do that. Why not 12? Hand of Fate? I want 12. And Radis, it's good to see you as well. Yeah, I mean, that's not going to be in this update, though. Tarantos. A gremlin named after their favorite food. So gremlins don't have preferences, Aaron Gray. They only have personalities. So if I, like, go to a random gremlin, personality, values, and preferences are blank. So what would you like this gremlin's favorite food to be? Well, I'm glad you pressed enter on the sob. Pork chop? I mean, well, I don't know what their favorite food is, but they don't eat it unless it's meat. Like, I could name them, like, pork bun. How about we name it pork bun? Or, like, hot dog, or wiener, or, I don't know, fatty biscuit. Ew. Spoon. Bacon. Sure. Wiener. Yeah, exactly. See? Bratwurst. Sure. You want me to name it Bratty? Okay. Brat. Worst. I think I spelled that right. I mean, actually, Bratwurst. I missed a W. Anyway. Bratwurst is sloppy with their living space, finds a chaotic mess for boredom of harmony. We're going to run out of gremlins to name, and people are going to be like, I want to name a gremlin. I'll be like, I have no more gremlins, guys. Sloppy with her living space and finds a chaotic mess preferable to the boredom of harmonious living. She's made deeply uncomfortable by differences in culture or appearance and is sometimes cruel. She's curious and eager to learn, and sometimes to her detriment. She seeks out exciting and adventurous situations. She has an active sense of humor, and she tends to avoid physical confrontations. She is given to flights of fancy, and she doesn't focus on material goods, and she finds obligations confining, and she is... She finds obligations... I lost my spot. Obligations confining, and she often feels lustful. She doesn't often experience strong cravings or urges, and she prefers to present herself modestly and doesn't really care about anything anymore. Are there zombies yet? I do not have a... I literally have 9 dwarves. I'm barely, like... The only reason I have enough food to feed all of these gremlins is because a caravan failed to leave. Because they got attacked by birds. So, no, I'm too busy feeding these fucking gremlins. Ask me when I have at least 20 dwarves. Bratwurst and Schnitzel? You're starting to remind me of my Oma now. You mean the incredible progressive rock band? Mogwai? It's definitely what you're talking about. So I wonder. Okay, 2. I found a spot. 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 Which means I should be able to check 1, 2. Check 3, 4. Excellent. Perfect. That is precisely what I need. So I can go all the way up and down here. I think I can build pumps that close to the edge of the map. I should test it first, though. Let's make one of each of those and see just how close to the edge of the map I can go. Disagree. I do not purr. Blind has a headache confirmed, though. So Blind is in a weird mood today. Blind also didn't sleep very well last night. So, you know, it's a Thursday. Jesus Christ, I hope it's Thursday. Blind is legally blind, yeah. There is a baby gremlin sprite in the game, Snurgle. You slept hard? Yeah, I slept. I barely slept. I mean, like, I slept, but barely. You know, when people start joking about this, it's when my fuse shortens very drastically because I don't find it funny, Jody. My life is significantly less convenient and a lot harder because of my eyes, and I find those jokes a little bit obnoxious. You imagine the mined out areas could carry sound easily enough? Well, they completely disabled sound because it made the game borderline unplayable, so if that says anything. The dwarves are here to trade. That's all good, Jody. Uh-oh. So, my snakes don't like the traders. I'm kind of not too surprised about this. I should have known this. But no trading this week because my snake bit's too effective. Sorry, Outpost Liaison Cybrek. You're now dead, Breck. There isn't too much I can do about that now. They're just... going to leave, I suppose. And Cybrek left through the caverns. Huh. Okay. Well, we need to find a solution for that. Do we need a lid on the snake pit? I think so. I think so. Hold on. Let me just, let me do something real quick. Rock hatch cover. Do I want to do hatch covers? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. So that's 18. 32. 64 mechanisms. I don't know if I want to do that. Let's just do a bridge. I'll just wait until I have some more blocks. If we could lift it open, well, I'm just going to make the pit bigger. And make it harder to not fall in. That's what I'm going to do. Is make the pit bigger, actually. Make the pit bigger and name it Brad. That's actually honestly what I'm going to do. Minus the part where I name it Brad. Are the snakes trained? So they're tame, but they were brought here by, what's it called? An adventurer. And often when you bring things to a fortress with an adventurer, they're, the defenders of your mountain home generally don't like them very much, regardless of if they're tame. So yes, they're tame. However, because they were brought here by an adventurer, you know, do you see what I'm saying? So it's kind of a problem. It just kind of is what it is. There really isn't too much else to say. I'm going to dig this out over here and put some coffins over here. Ooh, bauxite coffins. I mean, those were dwarves. Why would a dwarf smell like human? Oh, you mean the snakes smell like human? I mean, that kind of checks out. Okay, so down here, and then over here, I don't actually know. Can I dig all the way along here? Eh. Okay, we'll just go this side. Blink is gifting one of the hoodies for my merch store into the Twitch chat. If you would like a chance to win a hoodie, type in !enter, not !hoodie. It's this hoodie. I will say, just as a word of advice, do not hot water wash it and hang it up to air dry. Follow the tag. But that's the only real thing I have to say about this hoodie. My mom has one and she loves it. It's apparently very comfy. Yours got stolen? What? Is this like a your partner stole it kind of situation? Or because that's a good thing to say about a hoodie. You're enjoying what you've seen so far? Cheers, Tibris. I didn't see what you asked. What happened to the no dig fort? It died. I also didn't see that. I did see the video froze comment, though. So we just got a migrant wave with 1, 2 dwarves, and a puppy. 3 dwarves. 4 dwarves. 5 dwarves. Dwarf, 6 dwarves. And I'm going to make a squad. I'm just going to give them metal armor, because we do have some. And I'm just going to put... 3 dwarves, including ice blue. And down here, there is a destroyed tower, which is mighty convenient if you ask little old Meesies. It's a destroyed tower that just has a whole bunch of books in it. The Gilded Monks is also the name of this squad. Dracogen, congrats, you won a hoodie. Click on it. Go get your hoodie. Thank you so much for the gift. Link. Why do you put the bodies and bones outside to test the spirit of the fortress migrants? I put them outside because I don't have anywhere else to put them, and we're limited on space because it's a 1x1 tile. Static orgy in the YouTube chat. That's why. It's because we are limited on space, and I don't know. I didn't really have anywhere else to put them at the moment. If I had more places to put them, I would put them somewhere else. Have I picked up a bit of a tan? I spend a lot of time outside, so it's most likely a bit of a tan. Most of the tan that I have came from me going on several pretty long camping trips and spending a lot of time in direct sun on hikes. Also, summer's basically over, so the tan's gonna go away soon. Oh, looks like we got another round of babies. And by babies, I mean cobras. So you've got 12 children. Father has 12 children. Mother Snake has 20 children still, and soon we'll have 40. This fortress isn't small, it's cozy. Sure. I think it's pretty small, but, I mean, you can call it what you like. Actually, you know what would be an easier way to deal with this? Is let's just put flooring on this. And then just put a drawbridge in front of this. And then when baddies arrive, we'll just let them walk through this snake pit. We can just do it that way. Why don't we just do it that way? So, like, we'll do our front door where you gotta, you know, it'll go up to here. And then up to here. And, or maybe, like, closer to the edge. And then when the bad guys arrive, we'll just be like, hey, look, here's a snake pit. Have fun. I was about to make a that's what she said joke, but I'll go with what you said instead, Radis. Do gremlins have family? Do they? No, because I used adventure mode to bring them onto the map. Will they? Sure, if they have babies. But they have to get married first. I've never seen a single second of any G.I. Joe media that I am aware of outside of memes, so I have no idea. QN Green Tea. That wasn't the particular military propaganda I got as a child. I think they may have to join the fortress first, actually. In regards to the weddings for the gremlins. Which they haven't done yet. But then again, neither has my adventurer, which is this human. So, like, they're a citizen of this location? Oh, wait, no, you are a citizen of the alchemical books. Okay, I don't know. These guys haven't joined yet because they're part of no groups, so I need them to join. I don't know what any of that means, Trackagen. You are saying words, and I don't comprehend. I mean, Cooler drew the art for it. I just simply hawk it like a used car salesman on the internet. But, you know, thanks for appreciating it. Let me tell you this. I don't think anybody would buy it, Radis, but I don't know. I could make fucking underwear if you really want. But I don't think anybody would buy it, so I'll stick to unisex t-shirts and hoodies. But I will take your feedback and note it. I mean, you could do that with a hoodie right now. What's stopping you, Cat of Night? It's just like what happens between consenting adults with things that you've purchased that you own is up to you, as long as it doesn't put you in the hospital. Like that meme that was posted on my Discord last night, which made me laugh. I like, Drakagen, how you spelled I would correctly and then typoed it after the fact. You said I would with a K and then after you said I would with an L. Unless, like, chat's just out of sync for me. I'm trying to decide how I should build this, actually. Because what I need is I need power. So I could go for this level. Get power from this level. It's probably plenty, actually. Let's just do it that way. You know how to avoid the repeat blocker? I mean, I just put a space at the end, but okay. Okay, Comrade Tilla. I mean, you can. Redbubble exists. Screenshot my face and go hog wild. And I might... I don't know. I was going to say, and I might complain at Redbubble for using my likeness without my permission, but I don't know. I might just be flattered. Depends on who it is, really. Yeah, but not gonna lie, but I think that Debian is a bigger entity than I am, and I'm okay with just selling mugs. There's a you know what's funny? This one mug, has sold more individual units than all of my, like, clothing merch combined. It's nice when people buy the t-shirts, but generally, like, it's not really the focus. Just due to sheer popularity. So I don't know, buy more t-shirts. Maybe I'll be convinced one day. Yes, but you're a special case, Darius. It's getting a little weird. I mean... Nah. If I believe there's an audience for something, I'll make it. I don't really think there's an audience for that, though. It is true, Airsick. You know, I thought about doing that at one point, but also, nah. Today. Vile Mug Socks, maybe. Vile Mug Socks. Let's follow some dwarves doing some building. The important question, though, is are those dwarves even going to return? You know, one of the things that I try to avoid is, like, just creating things that are going to end up in a landfill. And, like, you know, a hoodie, like, I own merch hoodies that I bought from YouTube channels, I would say, years ago, that I still have. You know, like, that's something that kind of lasts, that people keep. It's going to take a bit of convincing to convince me that this stuff that you guys are joking about in, like, you know, good faith and whatnot is going to do more than just end up in a landfill. Oh, some Tarn answers? We have some Tarn answers, apparently. Some Tanswers, if you will. So what are these answers, if me can ask? Enjoy the lurks, track. Fuck no. I'm not that famous, come on. Tarnsers, yes. It's more Tarnsers than Tansers, yeah, I guess so. Your Dan Gleasing mug, you won't watch him you don't watch him anymore, but he was so jovial despite I have no idea who that even is, and I presume that's a Dark Souls boss. I don't actually know what that is, but I believe it, Radis. Tarns and answers, yes. Toads and answers? Snuggle Noodle. Okay, hold on. This is going to take some scanning to find it. Okay, so Cybrek, I like how it's the first one I click on. Nope, I think that was the Outpost Liaison. Hold on, because it just says Merchant. I mean, I did willingly start a fortress with an army of homicidal king cobras, so. I guess we'll go with this one, the Snuggle Noodle. Snuggle Noodle is presupposes success in any venture requiring his skills. Oh, I can poison whatever I need to poison. You know, that's a very snake-like endeavor. With what could be called blind overconfidence. He cleaves an austere lifestyle, disdaining even minor immodesties in appearance. Naturally, I mean, look at his hood. He is ruled by irresistible cravings of and urges to bite anything what moves, and often finds himself changing his mind to agree with somebody else. I don't know if I believe that one. And dislikes helping others and is very impolite and inconsiderate of property. I have to say that this nude might be my favorite nude I've seen. He often changes his mind to... he finds himself changing his mind to agree with somebody else. Dislikes helping others, is very impolite and inconsiderate of property, rarely looks on others with lust, and tends to ask others for help with difficult decisions. He is quite ambitious and can sometimes act without deliberation. He tends to avoid crowds, and he is quick to anger, and he is slow to trust others. Very danger noodle. Better keep some distance? Nah. He sounded lulls. There's your noodle. You happy? Animations or combat. Combat mode and fort mode is way too fast, so you're not sure what people are imagining it to look like. The adventure mode method would be way too slow. I would say that there is a way to abstract it. Like, I do agree that it's way too fast, right? Like, you can't do one for every hit, because it would just be like, you'd look like endgame Vampire Survivors. I think that there's a way to abstract it, like one swipe per every 10 ticks or something to imply combat is happening. I think people just want an approximation of what is being whacked by what. Like, right now you need to play the game for a pretty long period of time to be able to discern combat happening in front of you. But if there was some abstracted animation to imply what direction they're hitting, I think that would make the combat more interesting to a newer player. Because something that I see pretty commonly as a complaint is it's pretty hard to follow combat unless you literally slow it down to 1 tick per second. And if you slow it down to 1 tick per second and just move it forward like this, it already wouldn't matter, the speed of the animations. But too fast or not, I think it would be more valuable to have it than not, if that makes any sense. How many crabs are we up to? 4, because 2 of them died of infections. 4 or 6? 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, it's 4. We're up to 4 crabs. 4 crabs currently. And a lot of king cobras. Wait, crabs do hauling? What? I beg your fucking pardon? Hold on. I'm gonna remove one of these crabs and see if they actually do hauling. I must witness this. Oh. Because, like, I know they can pick things up, but, like, I wonder if you've got some other weird thing turned on that makes them do other stuff. Because, like, they shouldn't be able to haul. I don't think. But they do have hands. Technically. I mean, yeah, I don't think you'd want one, like, swipe per tick. But even if it's abstracted to a degree, because, like, I can follow Dwarf Fortress combat just by glancing at it. But I've also played an absurd amount of this game, right? And the combat is very involved, and I think that anything that can incentivize people to spend more time staring at it to see exactly what's happening is valuable. That's my 2 cents, I guess, about what people are imagining. But I don't know, chat could probably have some input as to what they're imagining as well. No such thing as baby king cobra. No such thing as baby king cobra. They are born full grown, which means you can't fully tame them normally, but I can because I brought them here using an adventurer. The location must be built and furnished. Well, temple it is. I have this very convenient space all ready to go. New temple. What's the name of it? The Communion of Moths. Which worships Kun the cat, which is the god of death and the stars, which is not a cat. It is in fact a dwarf. We've checked. But okay. And it's already valuable enough. Lovely. The Sacred Skull. I love it. Chat, who seems like the most sacred of skulls? Keeper Royale is also a very different kind of game, though. I actually don't like the little wobble animations they do. I find it make it really difficult to follow who's who, but... Presumably there's something causing them to bring stuff to stockpiles, Tilla. Funk NDA, thank you very much for the 17th month, by the way. Appreciate you. No, they do not. So you've got something enabled that's making your animals haul. Because in vanilla, they do not. I can assure you, without a shadow of a doubt, they do not do that, Tarantos. You've got something enabled that's doing that. That is not a vanilla feature. I've not made a library yet, no. I'm not going to make it into Inod because they're my miner. I need them doing mining. I think I'll give it to Zahn. Good luck, Zahn. Animals haul in RimWorld, yeah, but this is Dwarf Fortress. At least I think. Last time I checked, this isn't RimWorld. So no, the animals do not haul in this game. So you've got to have something enabled that's doing that. I'm pretty sure California Ninja Lore. I think that's the directory I'm in. That or it's Slaves to Armok Chapter 2, Dwarf Fortress. No, I mean, there's an old clip of me saying everything is just a really, really complicated Minecraft mod, so... maybe that's what this is. It's just a really, really complicated Minecraft mod. I'm just going to bop that because I don't like showcasing theft in my chat, even as a joke. Please don't take that personally. All right. Diamond pickaxes. Artifact, maybe? I've never seen... like, I've seen like gem crafts into artifacts and crowns and stuff, but I've never seen a weapon. I mean, actually, the mysterious locations that have the potions and the god weapons sometimes have really weird weapons. Like, I've had, like, gem spears and stuff, so maybe. Pretty unlikely, though. I'm just gonna go rock mechanism. Just say 30. So I'm gonna need a bunch for this. Then I'll start generating power here eventually. Because that's already enough to drain the water. I just require going up here and chiseling out more of these. Get to it there, Dwarf. Oh, also, I should go out to here and see what they grabbed. You're waiting for the update about sieges? Yeah, that's fair. I used to always get in that kind of mindset when... Uncanny Tower, Fact or Fiction... Truth about the tower. None of these look like a Necronomicon. All right. Let's do it again. Get back out there, Dwarf. Not that sharp, though. Torch 10. That's the real issue. Oh, can't actually go that way. Can they even access? Oh, they can't access it. That's the issue. But no, crabs can pull levers and unlock doors if they're not tamed, but it doesn't really make much sense that they would be able to haul when no other livestock in the game can haul. So, no, that's definitely a DF hack script that they've got running that they've forgotten about. It's actually like the main reason I'm always a little sticky about people recommending DF hack stuff to people who are new to the game, because a lot of the time it just ends up with people thinking that things are vanilla mechanics when they're very much not. What's that? It's tetrahedrite? Ooh. Haven't seen any tetrahedrite yet. At least none that I've been able to mine. Which means I may have to come back in here in the future and grab some of this. Let's keep the pattern up. Oh, I don't know. Stone. I don't know. So I wonder. I haven't seen one of these today. Heads up, chat. Investments are open if you care. Do light aquifer tiles release water at a predictable rate? It's not. The semi-random ones are the varied aquifers, which I basically never see. I know that they exist, but no, it's very predictable. I don't know the exact number of ticks, but it's not super quick that they release water. They're actually quite slow. Okay. You have a ghost running around and have slabs, but you can't find his name? Too many to engrave? What's the word? I usually look at their last name and then search by their last name. So, or I will type in their first name and then the first letter of their last name, and that's enough to search for them. Because you can't search by ghost, but like if they're Urist L, I will just type in Urist L. Or if it's Moses T, then I will type in Moses and then the letter T, and then it just searches for them and you find them. They won't do it. Do you have any engravers? Because it's technically a stoneworking task. But they won't do it. Yeah, so the other question is, do you have slabs made already? I guess. But if you have, like, nobody doing this task, or if you have a ton of, like, smoothing jobs set up, they will just go smooth things instead of doing the task that you want them to do. So that's my silly book. That's the next round of books. We're going to wait until... Did I not make coffins? Haven't yet. Got 3 more books from the looks of things. Wow, that's a native platinum book. Alrighty. Got Untitled. It's an untitled leather. It has a rare but particularly exquisite turns of phrase. It gives the feeling of compassion. It's passable. Tower Explained. Erdem Cleanbot's boat. Not bot, boat. This is a guide. It's 95 pages. It's about the tower. And then the last one down here is the Tower Explained. I'm actually going to set these two on duty so they quit leaving their stuff at the edge of the map. Because they do actually have weapons available. And I'm going to send them out to that tower again to continue grabbing books. You're back at 0 again? I mean, that's on you. Only invest what you're willing to bet, I guess? But yeah, if no engravers are enabled, that would do it, Herman. Has a human joined the fort yet? Nope. That takes several years usually. I did try to do it off the bat, but eh. I think I need to go here and make more of these stoneworker shops again. I did get rid of a bunch of those, but I require more. Also, in an ad break, so I will pause. Yeah, but they're way further apart than they look in the overworld, Soki. Like, they're more than 16 tiles apart. It looks like a double volcano, but I assure you it is not. But it is two volcanoes close together, yes. I don't really want the human to be named something because they are an adventurer, which means they're like a notable entity. So I'm going to kind of leave the human off limits. But I would like to name them after something they do. I have some ideas for that human, so I kind of want them to stay in world with their name a little bit if they get named. Mostly because, like, you guys have gotten progressively sillier with your naming recently, and that's fine. But I don't want them to be named, like, funny hair, poopy face or something. I want them to, I don't know, be named after something they do or accomplish. Human McPerson forehead. 2, for some reason. Nope, because they don't have a custom profession yet. They aren't doing anything notable. We're very early into the fort. They will do something notable, most likely, but we're not there yet. So we'll wait until we get there. For whatever that's worth, if that makes any sense. No, far too silly. Sure. Naturally. Who doesn't have that Flash of Monty Python? Speaking of Flash of Monty Python, these aren't pythons, but they are cobras, and I need to put them in the cobra box. So hold on. Let me just... Is that a temple? The one in the middle is a generic temple, yeah. Although I need to embiggen it a bit. All right, there they go. The infamous Hugh man. Used to know somebody who had the name Hugh Man on Twitch and nobody knew how to pronounce his name, so he eventually changed it. Which personally I think is a shame. I feel like everybody does, but this is a problem with Dwarf Fortress's development over the years, which is, especially with the release of the Steam version, this got very obvious, is that a lot of the development that this game had historically was very much based on whatever the people on the forum complained about the most. And a very common complaint was that the multicolored floors ruined the very intricate patterns that people were making. And I think that Tarn just caved eventually. And I think that's a massive shame and a bit of a pity. But it turns out that that's not the prevailing opinion of the most dedicated people on the forums, mostly. So eventually it was listened to, and that is now the world that we live in. However, I'm with you. I also miss the multicolored floors, and I would like to see them return. You know, generally, if there isn't a mod for things yet, my suspicion is usually it's not that simple. But yeah, no, I'm with you. I also haven't seen any mods for it. It's just like when people start playing this game and they're like, "Oh, well, people will mod that in," and it's like, well, I would also like that. I would also like, you know, to have a daily foot massage, but you know. I don't think it's necessarily that easy, and I can't afford that, so. It's a good a good fit for a checkbox option. Yeah, it's also not a huge priority, I think, is the actual reality. But yeah, for some people, it's just like back in the day, something I miss, which I'm pretty sure I am also the only person who misses this, is that some people really hated the fact that the game didn't tell you what kind of metal you would get when you embarked. So I liked the fact that I would just have to go digging and find out. It gave me a little bit of surprise. It would just say some metals and shallow or deep. That's all it told you. So you knew if there was metal, you would never have any idea what it was. And that was removed when Premium released, and I missed that very much so. But clearly, I'm like one of two people who actually misses that because, you know, it was removed, so. I definitely didn't see that, and definitely didn't edit a video, and definitely didn't also edit a short, and definitely didn't upload that this morning. Bioactive, so definitely new information here. But yes, November 3rd. Looking forward to it. You cannot drain an aquifer. No, this is just going to create a constant flow of water that's going to flow down into here, and I'm going to use it for power generation eventually. That is big water. I don't like bottled water, so I'm just going to call that big water. Now, never trust big water. Because there's no actual water on this level, I'm starting to think that this may actually not be an aquifer level. At least not mostly. A miner called T-Court. Beard or no beard? I think there are a couple. But thanks for the $1. Dark Jumping Walrus. That is why your rock salt is gray instead of pink. And also, that was, again, a portion of the DF forums that was very loud about the some metals thing, because more or less everybody played with DF hack, and that was a feature of DF hack that it would tell you what kind of metals it was, and that was one of the reasons people called the old versions unplayable, was because you had to go look and prospect and check for different metals in different regions. Beard, of course. Well, I mean, I don't know. T-Short is feels strong urges and seeks short-term rewards, and is troubled by this because he values self-control. He presents himself modestly and frowns on any flashy accoutrements. He does not often feel lustful and tends to avoid any physical confrontations. He works to square his natural tendency with his respect of martial prowess. He does not easily hate or develop negative feelings, and he doesn't mind a little tumult and discord in day-to-day living. He is generally quite confident in his abilities when undertaking specific ventures, and doesn't tend to hold on to grievances. He has little interest in joking around and is not particularly interested in what others think of him. He has a tendency towards forming deep and emotional bonds with others, and he is, when he's trying to remember something, he often starts chewing his lips. He inhales sharply when he's angry, and he needs alcohol to get through the working day. He doesn't really care about anything anymore. I should also move this above ground so that they don't have to go, or put it in like a completely different room so that they don't have to go near my gremlins or snakes. He values sacrifice and self-control, and doesn't particularly respect commerce, and doesn't feel strongly about the law, and dreams of creating a great work of art. Also, hold on, let me check something. I'm just going to assume that they can't access the bauxite, so let's just say rock coffin. Also, you have a lover, which is the other miner. When he's trying to remember something, he often starts chewing his lips. He inhales sharply when he's angry and needs alcohol to get through the working day. Dreams of creating a great work of art, and personally values sacrifice, self-control, and doesn't particularly respect commerce, and doesn't feel strongly about the law. Likes iron, cinnamon, glossier, as well as wood, carambola wood. Thank you for the $1, geek. Chat, can I get a round of beers for those giant nonsenses? And catapult parts and damselfly men for their coloration, and the words... he doesn't like any music. He prefers to consume mule and muck roots and blueberry wine, and hates rats. Let's see how this next siege went. I feel like donkey would taste like ass, but I don't know about mule. Maybe he likes little ass in his horse. Diversion of banks was looted. More buried trade, the tower exposed, and away with the tower. No, none of those sound like a Necronomicon, so let's keep at it. I don't have a library yet, so the doors can't read them anyway. Donkey tastes like... I mean, mule donkey would taste like monkey, right? This is a sentence I'm not comfortable with. It's kind of the same thing. Berry cider? I mean, I drink water, coffee, and beer. And sometimes whiskey. Sometimes vodka. Or whatever somebody hands to me. Hopefully it doesn't include neurotoxin. Which is why I don't trust any drinks handed to me that were made by Galados. If you drink rum, I've had some rum I've really liked. Okay, this will be close enough to the edge of the map that I can place it. Oh, we're getting dwarves that are dizzy. You drink maybe once a year? Yeah, I don't know. I probably should drink only once a year, but it's just not my life, so. It's just not my life. If you ever spend $1 over $12, yeah, no, that life I can't live. Now we just need this squad to return once more. Willem, what's up? How hard is this game to learn for a newbie? It depends on how much you're willing to read, and how many games like this you've played in the past. If you've played none in the past and you're not willing to read, very, very difficult. If you can comprehend a wiki, it's not too bad. Like, there's harder games out there for sure. That's certainly not the easiest game out there, but it's also not the hardest. Oh, also, I need a garbage dump. So I can get these boulders out of here before this gets too deep. Oh no, it's too deep. Oh well. Anyways. Because this is all draining pretty quick now. This is my river creator, and it's working. See? 7 deep. Although I should probably do one of these. Actually, I fucked that up. Let's do dolomite blocks and then floors across here. Just so that it's less likely to overflow. And you, chat, you guys can watch this dwarf who's constructing a building, and I'm going to go use the toilet. I will be right back. If I could get a round of beers while I'm gone, that'd be great. 2 seconds. Ah. Let's see what's over here. They've returned again. Let's see what they grabbed this time around. Reports. In pursuit of the tower in glory, more laud crafted, and suddenly the past can say. It's a little ominous. Get back out there, keep stealing books, please. So currently we're up to, what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 dwarfs. Well, we're getting there, slowly. Ever slowly. Slowly. But yeah, chat, out of curiosity to you guys out there in the wilderness of the internet, how hard would you say this game is to learn for a newbie? Because I think you guys have done that more recently than me, and you guys probably have a much better account of how difficult this game actually is to learn than me. Because I learned it so long ago that My experience of how difficult this game is probably pretty different to what other people's active experience is for learning it. Hard and you keep learning, which is fun. I mean, I agree with that you keep learning. Like, that's actually the thing that I like the most about it, is I still learn things, and I've played this game for too long. Not super frequently these days, but I do still learn new things from time to time. It's more like stumble upon new things, but... Watched my tutorial series and now it's going quite well. You know, it's funny, Sandbeck, that you say that, because, like, that's how I learned this game too. I first installed it in 09 and probably didn't actually get past the main menu and World Gen portion until, like, 2011, so. But 09 was when I started reading about it, and that's when the weird bug in your brain kicks in, and then you're like, well, one day I have to know. One day, I will have to know. And when I know, it'll be good. All right, so we are going to move the trade depot up here. We're going to do a bunch of construction up here, and I'm going to make the snake pit harder to access. Sorry, snakies, but you guys are a little bit too bitey for the traders, it seems. Yeah, a little bit too bitey. Mr. Bitey and gang, not so great. Ah, well, Das Tactic is pretty OG. Nookrim's always completely demolished me for the views he gets on his tutorials, but for basic getting started guides, they're okay. Why the snake pit? Because I have snakes, and so I put them in a pit. I mean, what else are you supposed to do if you have snakes? Yeah, Krug Smash, I think, like, helped bridge the gap for a lot of people that, like, found the game daunting, because he's really good at making things seem approachable. I kind of wish he still made content super actively, but, like, I get it. Burnout's real. I've almost quit many, many times. I've almost stopped making content many, many times, so I get it. How about we call it a snake hole, you know? Snake hole? Instead of a snake pit? No, I know he did a live stream a couple days ago, but that's the first stuff he's done on YouTube in, like, what? 8 months, 9 months or something? It's not impossible to learn this game on your own. I know people who've done it, freelancer, but you'll have a much easier time if you look things up, at least, like, the basics. Like, as an example, like, you know, the difference between a box bin and a bag, you know? Or, like, the difference between a coffer and a box and a chest. Stuff like that. A little bit less important stuff, like why soap is important, how the fuck a hospital works. But for the more advanced stuff, you can just kind of fumble your way through it and learn it slowly. Like with most things, with enough time, anything's possible. It's just a question of, are you willing to put that time in? I mean, that's fair. That's a common enough term and phrase. It's all good, Tutterfucks. Also, your name's Tutterfunks, not Tutterfucks, but I just called you Tutterfucks, so I guess that makes two of them. I mean, like, I know some people who speak no English or spoke no English at the time who taught this game to themselves by just trial and error and brute force. So, like, it is doable. It's not going to be a quick and or easy process, I guess, is like the thing you got to remember. Is like, yeah, can you do it? Sure. Will it happen even remotely quickly? No. Why would you get banned? I mean, actually, you could get banned by your first time chatting here. Type in the N-word. Then I will ban you. Ban you? Ban you. Or like any other slur? Or just like say something racist. That would get you banned. See, California Ninja Lawyer knows what's up, and they're a lawyer, so they gotta know what's up. I mean, I don't really consider that a slur. I might yell at you if you call me a weeb. Because that is slander, my friend. Okay, the Gilded Monks have returned. Once more. Apparently, the bloated baker of cooks now know a few facts about raven training. Lovely. And I've got a growing population of troglodytes that I don't really know what to do with, so I just keep putting them in this corner. Actually, I should just... Hold up. I have a place to put these troglodytes. I'm going to pen pasture the troglodytes. I'm going to be mean. With my cobras. Same with the troll. Have fun! Have fun. Have fun. I'm also going to lock these doors so that they go in from this side. I did not domesticate the trolls. I caught one in a cage, blocked the bleak, and there's nothing else I can do with it aside from release it or kill it, so I'm going to feed it to the snakes. And the troglodytes I also didn't domesticate. They're just wild, but their brains kind of short-circuit if you put them... Their brains kind of short-circuit if you put them in a pen pasture. And they just kind of stand there until something startles them. But, like, me putting the troglodytes into this is just going to most likely just make them die to the snakes. I'm not dropping any frames, so it's not me midwinter. But all of YouTube exploded yesterday, so... I mean, hey. I would say that's a skill issue, but it's quite literally a skill issue. That's Troggy number onesies. Troggy number twofer. I'm a bad person. Troggy number tree. You know, I wonder if nightmares are susceptible to poison. I doubt it, but I wonder. They must be syndrome immune? They must be, right? Side note, are boogeymen syndrome immune? New author. What's the next one? An Introduction to Lodcrafted, Dwarf, Natural, or Supernatural, and The Study of the Secret. Isn't this secret like some multi-level marketing nonsense? Willem, thanks for gifting out a sub. The T-Chort. I don't actually know how to say your name, T-Chort, so appreciate you, mate. Codex. The Study of the Secret. It includes the study of the secret. It concerns learning the secrets of life and death. Oh. Fuck you. This would be like me looking for a book about pickling, but instead of getting a book about pickling, I got a book about a story that was a story of a lady who made a lot of pickles. Supposedly they're not supposed to do that, Tutterfunks. By the dwarf necromancer Olgon from teaching the dwarf necromancer Onuel in the early winter of 115. The prose is great. Well, at least it's a very good book. Not super useful, but very good, supposedly. One of those books? Yeah, that's what we're... I mean, well, we're looking for one of those books, but we haven't found it yet. Once again, like I said earlier, they're not supposed to do that. But I hope this fort falls. Because that would be entertaining. I kind of want to see some of that stuff because I know that they're not supposed to do it. But there is a weird part of my nuts brain that's like, oh, that sounds like fun. I want to see that. I want to see that before they fix it properly, you know? That's literally all my head says. It's like, chat's like, oh, the game's fucking busted if you try and do insert thing here. And I'm like, oh, I want to do that. That sounds fun. Yeah, I mean, want to put my tender heart in the necro blender, right? Yeah, that's what I want. So, Freelancer in YouTube chat says, can you try to equip craps? I'm assuming you're trying to say crabs. You can't equip crabs. You also can't equip crabs. Although if you're playing adventure mode and you butchered a crab, you could probably whack somebody over the head with its pincher. But, fun fact, if crabs get resurrected, they turn into, I think it's 8 crabs. 1 for every limb. Hands, body, face, and then legs all get resurrected. I mean, I just think it's funny. It's like, can you equip crap? Well, you know who can equip craps? Actually, wait, hold on. There's 2 freelancers? There's Freelancer XD on YouTube, and then there's Freelancer MOL on Twitch. This is like the Spider-Man meme. I'm just like, wait, who's who? What? This is like, there's like 8 different people. It's not 8. I think it's actually 3. There's like 3 different people with the word Bismuth as their username. It's like Bismuth and numbers. And as far as I can tell, they're all completely different people. And then one of them has 2 accounts, which is on Twitch and YouTube. Anyway, great minds, I guess, freelancers, plural. The question is, who's giving all of these lances away for free? That's really what I want to know. Crab battle, they will fight a human named Solid Snake. Do they fight a crab and... Metal Gear? Have you been bit yet? Miss. Oh, bites. It's injected venom. He did. Unless Troll is immune. Troll's seemingly immune. Are trolls immune to syndromes? Kind of seems that way, actually. He is vomiting, though. Oh. He's unconscious. But can still breathe. Seemingly. I woke up again. Also, I'm out of alcohol, by the way, which I just wasn't paying attention to and was too busy paying attention to this and then the updates and other things. Let's just get some booze going. But, like... sure. Yeah, I hadn't looked. Sorry, I hadn't flipped this troll over. I didn't realize it was not a boy troll. That's kind of whack. Trolls being immune to cobra venom. This is not our troll. This is a wild troll that I just stuck here. Why does everybody seem to think that I tamed these trolls? You guys are very confusing. And very silly. But no, this one wandered into the map from the underground, and I pen pastured it. He looks tame. Troll. It would say troll. If it was tame. It's also injured because it's fighting with my snakes that are tame. I do have a habit of doing things that you don't understand, but chat also has a habit of assuming things that aren't possible. Because I do things that you don't understand. And I'm wondering why it's immune out loud to my snake's venom that are actively biting it. And chat's like, did you tame that troll? Like, well, no? You know, one of my favorite negative reviews I ever saw for Dwarf Fortress Tutterfunks was when they released those portraits. And there was somebody who, like, left a negative review for Dwarf Fortress because the dwarves were now ugly. Sir Crabicus. Oh my, you don't even know. Man, you don't even know. I just suddenly got nostalgia and now I miss somebody. I had a Sir Crabalicious and Crabicus. Well, Crabicus still comes around sometimes, but I used to have a viewer named Crabalicious who I miss now. Who I haven't seen in ages. Also, in other news, did they find a secret book? Did I raid the wrong place? I raided the wrong place. Imagine just, like, raiding the wrong place by accident. Oops. What happens if I queue up 2? Will they just do 2 in a row? I don't actually know. I'll find out. You want a crab named Crabicus. Sir Crabicus? What you said? Well, I only have 4 crabs. So I'll give you one of the newer ones. More recently, crabbed crabs. Sir Crabicus the giant crab is very crab-like and is not the type to crab or even fall in crab or develop positive crabs. He would never pass up a good crab for a good crab fight and doesn't often feel crab or envious of others. He tends to ask others for crab with difficult decisions and finds helping crabs emotionally rewarding. He likes to take it easy and is slow to crab others and tries to do things crabbily each time and tends to be passive in discussions and has a greedy streak. As opposed to negative crabs, Tutterfunks. No, but there's now more crabs, so somebody just gave birth to crab. It seems that giant stray crab has given birth to a boy. So we now have another crab. Crab number 5. The 5th crab. I should also check how that water is doing and make sure it's not flooding. It shouldn't be, but who knows? Stranger floods have happened. Well, it's not flooding, and it's certainly deep enough. Actually, hold on. I wonder. Can I build a bridge? Yes, I can. So I could go from, like, back here. Oh, this is going to be super fucking slow and tedious. Basically, I would need to go all the way over. Not going to bother. Not right now. Maybe eventually. And Draco wants you to post beers, chat. To look exactly like yours. You must be a pro. I don't know. I haven't done a pattern like this in ever, so first time for everything. I usually do much more intricate bedroom designs, but I've just kind of accepted the fact that I have very little space in this fort, so I'm not worrying about it too much. Just gonna queue up 100 of each of these and they'll figure it out eventually. Not gonna worry about the completion rate too much. Yeah, if I had 2x2, then I would have had 4 times the space, quite literally. But because, like, the whole map is in the screen right now, like, I don't have much in the way of space. Well, I think what the dwarf was, or the dwarf, Snurgle in YouTube chat says, the dwarves now being ugly is it really funny for a game that used to represent the game with smiley faces. I think what they're basically insinuating is that, like, essentially they were just like, lady dwarves are now ugly. Which, like, fair, but, like, mate, have you seen any of the dwarves? Like, they look silly. I think their complaint was they need bigger cleavage, more or less. But, at the same time, it's a really funny, petty thing to leave a negative review for, and I laughed pretty hard when I saw it. Petty reviews sometimes amuse me. It's like the person who, although sometimes negative reviews are like, yeah, no, I get it, which is like the one that I always like to mention, which is the negative review for Dwarf Fortress. That's like, this isn't a management game, it's fantasy Mad Libs for like a fantasy world gen. And I kind of agree. Other than your mom whose back hurt. Oy. The pictures are more than flattering. I mean, considering Tekkit did some math once about the weights of dwarves based on density, assuming that dwarven weight units equal pounds, and like your average wrestler dwarf has the density and size of a black bear. Like, holy shit. Hey, Thatcher Gates, thanks for 20 bucks. Got a $20 super chat in the YouTube chat. Can I get a round of beers? And YouTube folks, you guys can just hit the party button if you like. Thanks for all the content and constantly, and any advice for constantly running into aquifers as to not waste early game time or at least turn them into something more useful than a smooth wall. This is an aquifer. This is creating an underground river that's flowing to the edge of the map and off the map via that. This is also an aquifer. It's creating a mist generator for the dwarves, and probably also a well at some point. Most of the fort today so far has been building this river, which I'm going to use for power. The Naughty Withering was a thing that we looted. What the hell is the Naughty Withering? Is that a book? Start your day with the dwarf, mayor for the beginning, practitioner, and the future of the mountain home. Well, none of those are Necronomicons, I guarantee you. What the heck is the Withering? The Naughty Withering is a sword. This is a steel short sword. All craftsmanship is of the high qualityest. The object menaces with spikes of shiny. Lovely. Hey, Dwarfy, here. You have a new poker. We also have another one, apparently. What's the other one? It's a copper short sword. All craftsmanship is of the highest quality. It is decorated with wolf bone. On the item is an image of Bomrek kindness flags, the dwarf, and dwarves in Cowhoof. Bomrek kindness flags is surrounded by the dwarves. The artwork relates to the appointment of the dwarf Bomrek kindness flags to the hammerer of the urn of wilting in the year 60. Well, I don't care about that because it's copper. And I ain't no copper. So I'm going to put that in here on a pedestal as a piece for a collection. The fort's called Brainrot. This is true. The fort is in fact named Brainrot. Shoutouts to the person who came up with it. It wasn't me. I did laugh though when I read the suggestion. Hi, Darmond. Siege update looks like it's going to be very interesting. It's going to be interesting, yeah. It's going to be interesting. Let's see how many more bedrooms we need. Quite a few. Not too many, though. We're catching up. Kevin now has a bedroom. Excellent. Although these gremlins aren't going to use it. I'm just going to give it to them so that they have it. In case they figure out how to use a bedroom. Okay, let's send them back out. Is it all the gremlins that are angry? Mostly. It's kind of hard to tell because you can't actually see their moods on the pet screen. But is it here that they show it? There's like one way to see it. I always forget. But yeah, it's mostly the gremlins that are angry. Because if I actually look, like I've got two dwarves that are like here, right? And then I've got one dwarf who's here. So it should be 2, 1, and then everybody else is happy. So yeah, it's mostly the gremlins that are upset at the moment. No, it's going to be a main branch patch. As far as I know, I don't think there's going to be a beta branch patch. At least not that I've seen. I have them attending meetings for sure. So yeah, no, they are. Most of them aren't happy, but update on the headache, chat. It's not going away. Tis not. Thankfully, it hasn't gotten much worse, but thinking is a little difficult today. Water? I've drank about 2 of these before I started stream, and I've been sipping since. So I'm not dehydrated, if that's what you're asking. No, I want to say it's probably because today is the coldest day we've had so far this year. By kind of a lot. Like, I actually had to turn the heater on this morning. That's how chilly it is outside at the moment. Uh-oh. That's an injured dwarf. I'm sorry, are you rotting? And my doctor is not here at the moment. I have 2 injured dwarves. Uh-oh. This is what happens when you have a lot of tasks that need doing, and not a lot of actual dwarves in your fort that can do the tasks. I'm just gonna say I have a headache. If your response is gonna be just give me all of the remedies, I don't need your assistance, chat room, thanks. I don't know, probably birds. There's been vultures that are not super friendly in the fort for a minute. So probably birds. I don't actually know for certain, though. That's one of those, your guess is kind of as good as mine. It could also have been troglodytes, could have been trolls, could have been birds. If I knew how they got injured, I would have dealt with it sooner. I didn't even know they were injured. But I'm kind of busy doing construction-related things, so I'm not exactly paying all that much attention, so that's kind of on me, but... Horrifying? Yep. C'est la vie. Do you not know what an electrolyte is? Shadow Absorber? Or are you defining electrolyte? I think they were asking if I've taken electrolytes, not what an electrolyte is. That is part of a marketing spiel, yes. Take the Viking. Thankfully, though, I'm not a plant. I'm not a government plant nor a plant. I do live around a lot of plants, though. The Tower uncovered. The Lucid Gallows. Ooh, that's a good name. The Dirt Nose. Yes, it does. Was also looted. And Untitled was looted. Great. You know, fun fact, I've never actually seen the It's What Plants Crave thing outside of memes. I've only ever seen it in memes. Although there's a lot of marketing things like that where it's like, yeah, I've only ever seen that in memes. I've like no actual... I've no like context outside of just like memes for what that is. It smells like dirt generally, I would presume. At least that's my assumption. Definitely know it as a meme from Idiocracy. You know, fun fact, I've never actually seen Idiocracy. I feel like that's a movie I should see. And I should have seen by this point, but somehow I just haven't. So I open up the comments on the news video that I uploaded this morning, and I just see, oh no, my fort is cooked. It's the first thing I see. Oh boy. Idiocracy is too real. Yeah, I feel like that's a hard movie to watch now, probably. I feel like right now I just need to let these dwarves finish their tasks. You're faint? That doesn't seem healthy. I mean, you are a sacred skull. Okay, so Sacred Skull, I think, deserves some healing because I clearly fucked up. So I'm going to make a new burrow and put it right here. And I'm just going to go Skull. I definitely fucked that up. And I'm going to turn it off. I'm going to go to you, and we're going to watch. Let's see where you go. You know, I don't know if I want to see a prophecy that predicts things that are happening right now, to be completely honest with you, because they're happening and it's already real enough. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take this off, which means you should be able to take that off. I was going to say, why can't I see the liquids inside this? And then I'm going to unforbid that. Now we just need to wait for this dwarf to get thirsty or hungry. Wait. You're no longer faint. I guess, like, it wasn't actually that bad of an injury. Do I let this dwarf... eat this, is the question. Rotten tissue was excised from the upper arm. Nah. I was going to let you drink that, but no. No, you don't need it. Although if I do see another injured dwarf, maybe I'll let them have it. Like maybe you. See, this dwarf has the ability to grasp someone impaired. Let's wait until you get up. What kind of treatment are you waiting on? You need cleaning. Should probably make a well, actually. I need a bucket. I need a bucket, dear Liza. That doesn't have a hole in it. We also need more tables and chairs, and it looks like a lot of those tables and chairs that I queued up are now done. You're thoroughly intrigued on how things in that update are going to function. Me too. I mean, like, it's a very short piece of footage, right? Like, we don't actually have that much to go by. So because we don't actually have that much to go by, it's a little bit opaque at the moment. Couldn't a well be contaminated with the goo? It could be contaminated with literally anything. However, let me put it this way. The goo is a food, not like a spreadable liquid. It is a spreadable liquid in adventure mode, but in fortress mode, if I were to like dump that goo out, it wouldn't be a spreadable liquid. It's just like food, basically. So in adventure mode, if you pour it out, it turns into liquid. In fort mode, in my experience, it's not like a spreading liquid. It's just, you know, a food item, essentially. So, in theory, sure. In reality, not really. At least not from my experimenting with it historically, unless something's changed. You managed a tavern keeper for the first time and discovered some fun. Thankfully, you like the color green. Well, hey. As long as you just got green and not red. Also, I have to say that the username of the last person to follow me is very amusing. I won't call you out, though. I just think that your name is amusing. It wouldn't have been a fountain of youth, but it would have been like a fountain of healing. Yeah, more like, you know, those, like, the RPG fountains where you step in it and it, like, resurrects all your party members and, like, heals you. It's more like that. Okay, so this right here can become a water source. We're in an ad break. Chat, I'm just gonna real quick go consume a boiled egg. I will be right back. But if a child dwarf was by accident to take a dip in a cauldron of that strange goo, would they have superpowers? No, but if they had any injuries, it would heal them. But only if they consumed it.
Let's take a lovely fruit, the tomato. Remove everything that's good from it, the seeds, the vitamins, the nutrients, everything that's good about it, and just jam it full of shit garbage shit sauce and put it in a shit bottle that sounds like shit when you put it on your shit. It's shit! Stop eating ketchup!
Nuclear vessels.
It's a unique system. I know this.
Cheese for everyone!
No, 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 no! 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 No.
Cheese for
Correct.
everyone!
They might not develop superpowers, but they would become a goober. If they, you know, did that. Anyway, so I've got a theory here. Necromancers summon nightmares which kill you, right? They summon the necromancers right next. The necromancers summon nightmares right next to them. I presume those are Trapevoid. However, what if I happen to have cage traps everywhere? All right? And these cage traps have a thing that will cause a cave-in right next to them. And I have a body on the other side of a wall, okay? And the lever does two things when you pull it. The first thing it does is it releases something to make a scary thing appear. The second thing it does is it drops a thing and makes a cave-in, which will knock everything around and knock them into the cage traps. So if the necromancer resurrects the zombie, the body that I want them to resurrect, theoretically they would, but they would also then knock themselves and anything else they summon into a cage trap. That's the brainiac nonsense I'm working with here. And kind of what I've been thinking about for the last, 90 minutes. is like, if I have a necromancer, how do I contain them, the zombie, and anything else that they summon? And that's the theory that I've come up with. So, I guess we should get to it, hey? I'm thinking maybe down here. So probably what I'm going to do, actually, is just... Except, not there. And not there. And not there. Everything else here, though, is fair dwarf. Seems like a plan that can't... I would say a plan that can absolutely fucking fail, but, like, hey. I appreciate the optimism. So that's going to take a little while, but they'll get to it, I'm sure. And for up here, I still need to search for that book, so get back out there, dwarves. Hop to it. It's a plan that can fall as far as the ceiling is willing to fall, and it's a plan that hopefully won't fail too catastrophically. I also should stop, like, killing these trolls and things, because these are what we can use to resurrect the dead. Because that's enough to spook a necromancer. Alrighty, Imush the mechanic. I'ma put you in here. Because you are clearly still injured. So after you get a sippy... No sippy. There you go. Now that you've dropped your sippy, I need you to go down here. Oh shit, you're already euphoric due to inebriation. How dare you? Okay, so you should have access to this.
Crypt arrive.
And have access to that. Now we just wait until you get hungry or thirsty. Narvicious, thanks for the 52nd monthly. Appreciate you. So this dwarf has some injuries. Their ability to grasp is somewhat impaired. And, that's it. Naturally. I'm always winning. No red. Narvicious, thanks for the 52nd month. Thanks for helping keep the channel funded. I'm a mad scientist? Well, I get mad sometimes. I don't know about a scientist. That seems like unnecessary amounts of flattery. Right now, I'll have you know, I'm just trying to do medicine and heal this dwarf. I mean, their pet puppy will be sad without them. This hasn't flooded yet, so that's good. How much power are you producing? 700? Not bad. Ah, thirsty. Excellent. Please tell me that that has liquid in it that is drinkable. Strange goo, what about you? Strange broth. Ah, I need the strange broth. Naturally. So you should go get a drink from the strange broth. Unless they're both considered food, in which case I have to wait for you to get hungry. He's interested after viewing Not This Shalom. Doesn't care about anything anymore? Yeah, I know it's a Monday, isn't it? How about I put... food right there, just so that he's certain. And can move those. Unless they're not technically food, in which case then I don't know. They may both just be considered eating and not drinking, but Master of the Tower, Pathways of the Dwarf, Tattooed can find the Burn. Okay. Pathways to the Dwarf, Master of the Dwarf, and the new tower. Yeah, nothing super goody. Let's keep at it. Oh, they aren't fully back yet. Hold on, let me check. We started summer 334, and it's now winter 335, so a year and a half. It's not actually been that long. A lot of the time yesterday was spent playing adventure mode and embarking. So not that much time was actually spent, like, you know, doing this stuff, playing the game, per se. So, a lot of people have been making bolt thrower jokes in my YouTube comments, and someone just typed in a bunch of bolt thrower lyrics from the song World Eater. I think that's the name of that song. And YouTube flagged them as inappropriate. Literally all it was all caps World Eater, and then the intentionally misheard lyrics, banana. And the word banana a whole bunch of times. And YouTube has flagged this inappropriate. Do you think he wants a table and a chair to eat? No. No, I think these are just considered food and not drink. So I'm just waiting for him to get hungry so he eats one. Oh, they returned again. That was quick. No, I misread? Oh, wait, I see. I didn't actually send them out. And this is getting there slowly. No, I just don't want him to eat more than one, so I'm just staring at him until he eats one. I think it's probably just actually like spam. Atlanta. Like, you know, just lots of all caps letters. YouTube's nonsense just considers it spam. Irritated after being thirsty. You know, like, you're gonna get healed. You'll gain your ability to grasp fully once again. But you're gonna have some, like, PTSD about being thirsty once. Oh, I mean, certainly people get, like, you mean like that old gif, like that gif of that lady getting hit in the head with a pile of hot dogs? Like that gif? What's happening with the gremlins? You didn't see their faith. Can anyone tell you? They're not worshiping. They're just hanging out. Like, I don't really know what you mean by faith. They don't have gods. So they're just hanging around and vibing. They're basically just pets right now that complain to my manager. Or I guess, expedition leader for the moment. And this dwarf, I'm just waiting for them to get hungry so that they eat what's in one of these jugs. And then I can release them. But currently he's just viewing these jugs on display. I don't need to see that. And I wish I didn't read that, Dracogen. That's all I have to say to that. Can you get context for what? The bananas thing? Or what? They spend all their time not working and complaining, and 2 of them are legendary comedians. Geek to Games. the starving thing. These jugs have potions of healing in them. They are sitting on pedestals, but they're not actually in the pedestals. They're both considered food. And so I'm waiting for this dwarf to get hungry so that they consume one of these foodstuffs, either the strange broth or alternatively, no, not that, or alternatively the strange goo. And if they consume it, it will heal all of their wounds and they will gain the ability to grasp properly again. And in regards to the banana thing, it's because there is a metal band called Bolt Thrower, who I saw live once a long time ago. And one of their songs, the chorus goes World Eater, and then because they do like the deep, like really loud screaming stuff, so everybody intentionally mishears the lyrics, the lyrics go World Eater and then just banana. And somebody typed that in as a comment on the video that I uploaded this morning about the Siege update, and YouTube thought it was inappropriate, and I found that funny. So we're talking about that. My friend Targets. Dwarf a quandary. And in the pursuit of the dwarf and the world of the tower. God damn it. I don't need, like, strategy guides for their MMO. Correct, but they're also not able to go into the tavern to tell jokes because they're not technically part of the faction yet, and because they're not technically part of the faction, they also can't go to even a visitor's tavern and socialize, so they actually can't socialize right now with the exception of with each other. Yet. They'll get there, though. Also, a buzzard is fighting with a gremlin? I don't know how this buzzard got all the way into the fortress, but somehow it did, and it just got obliterated by, like, a trillion king cobras. Rest in peace to that stupid buzzard. On to the next. In pursuit of the dwarf. Not the dwarf exposed? Or the fortress exposed, rather. Is one that I see quite a bit. Oh, I didn't actually go do it. All right, so the crab is now Pinchers. Pinchers is desires little for himself in the way of possessions, doesn't stick with things even if minor difficulties arise, only forms tenuous emotional bonds with crabs, and has little interest in joking around with crabs, and is often nervous around crabs, and often acts with compassion around crabs, and is quick to anger around crabs, and tries to keep his things orderly because he's a crab, and he doesn't have many things. He prefers that everyone lives harmoniously as crabs, and tends to be passive in discussions because he's a crab and he can't speak, and often feels envious of others. Welcome to the fort. Crab. Come on, Dorfus. He's uneasy after the lack of decent meals. Well, this won't be a good meal, but you can eat it. He's complaining about lack of decent meals, but also isn't hungry enough to eat said meals. It's like, mate, I've provided all of these meals for you, and you're just not eating them. Oopsies, that not the button I wanted. That's the button I wanted. And now all of the gremlins have bedrooms that they won't use. Excellent. And we have some extras. You mean they can be crab-flicted? Boom, boom. I'll have you know that this unruly, drunk, bearded child is 57 years old. Also, clearly I need them to eat their medicine, not drink it. There is one other thing I can try, which is I can do this, actually. Which I don't think this will do anything, but... Nope. Nope, nope, nope. Still young in dwarf years. True. I mean, that would be like, I guess, like a 25-year-old, I guess. Now he's dehydrated. God damn it, I need you to eat food! And before... If this dwarf starves to death, chat, or dies of thirst, I'm gonna just go out on a limb here and say that's kind of funny. Now get hungry! Come on, dwarf. No, because if he ate, he would no longer be... He would no longer have... his ability to grasp impaired. I'm gonna give him... until, like, the 5th of spring. Maybe ain't no hand to eat goo. He just toppled furniture. This is kind of science. Great tower. Okay, the responsible tick. The world without the tower, and it must have been judges. Wait, hold on a second. What was the name of that dwarf? Oh, Lure Wire. I thought your name was Loudwire. I was like, isn't that a magazine? Strength seems to be low as well. I literally have 29 citizens, mate. And I have a ton of brew drink plants. I need to harvest some stuff from the surface, but it's not low, trust me. Also, the gremlins, in theory, can just eat, or can just drink from the well, because they don't care. The dwarf, limewire. I think the word lime's a word in Dwarfort. He's gonna die, you know it. I mean... Trust me, our drinks ain't that low, but... Do that. If that makes you feel any better. He hasn't eaten. I would have seen it. Chat, you guys can explain it to Villigent. Because those jugs have healing potions in them, and this dwarf can't grasp properly. I'm trying to help them. But I'm only going to give them until the 5th of granite, and if they don't eat it, then they can get outie. Ironically, if they eat the stuff that's in those jugs, it'll also cure their thirst, because that's considered an injury. I was gonna say, that's a bit of a autocorrect among us. Alright, fine. Go get yourself some food. Stupid dwarf. Although after you're done this drink, I'm going to put you back in there. Okay. No. Now, see, now he's going to go eat. Hold up. Hold up. Hold up. Hold up. Hold up. Don't you even fucking think about it. Then sneak the cheese with him. No, I forbid it. He didn't eat it. He also didn't eat a meal, I don't think. He was heading to a table, presumably. I'm trying to... Okay, fine, fuck it. Have a nap. Yeah, no, he didn't sneak it with him. It's right here. He did not. I forbid it. I did, in fact, forbid it. The quarantine room? Yeah, basically. Now he's hungry. See? He hungry. He didn't eat it. Proof. He not did eat. Oh no, it's not, he doesn't have no ability to grasp, it's somewhat impaired. So his hand is fractured. And probably not going to heal properly. So I'm trying to fix that. Mostly just to see if this works still. Unless they changed something somewhere. But now he's hungry, so now I'm starting to worry that something is changed. Hold up, let me check something. Strangler, fat, and tallow strawberry. Because it is possible that they changed something. It is possible. Because this did work before. Just toggle them all on. I mean, I did that earlier. Nothing. He didn't move it, so. Here's something I could try. It might be because they're in jugs. So let's try this. Okay, so the strange goo is now on display. It's now no longer on display. It's a magic healing potion that's supposed to heal all wounds, but only if they consume it. Well, he's very happy after viewing the strange goo on display. Like, oh, look at this strange goo. Well, that sucks if that doesn't work anymore. It wouldn't surprise me all that much, but it did work previously. This is mostly me experimenting to see if a thing still works. But it looks like it doesn't. Because I think it was it Head Punch? I did a fortress that was settled on a... that was settled on a mysterious dungeon, and it was full of strange goo, and I could just lock a dwarf in there and they would eat it. Or drink it. Pretty much, Wilmer. Yeah. Pretty much. So yeah, I don't know. I guess it doesn't work no more. That sucks. If that's the case. Go get yourself some food, dwarf. I'm gonna go rinse out this mug because my coffee mug is empty. You guys can watch this dwarf go eat normal food. I'll be right back. I mean, he got dehydrated and hungry and didn't eat or drink, so yeah, I guess not. All right. Put my coffee goo on display? I don't make my coffee that strong. What do you think I am? A Vietnamese coffee maker? Vietnamese coffee is like absurdly strong. So. All right. Well, I guess I should probably actually do some farming. I was just going to farm in here. Because I don't think this will fill up that much, but like... Probably actually the way to do this is to just put like a bunch of containers somewhere. Or start just dumping liquids somewhere. So this is kind of what I'm thinking. This is dangerous, but down here is going to be my necromancer creation zone. It's going to be glorious. But for the moment, I require more pickaxes because I just need more miners so we can get this task done quickly. So let's just get some smelting going. Let's make a smelter. Let's just make a wood furnace. And let's just make a metalsmith. Let's just get those done real quick. I'm also going to go over here and get rid of that. Get rid of that. And keep that one. The necro pit. Yeah! It's like an armpit, but for necros. So let's just make charcoal. 10, sure. Smelt lemonite. I think it's lemonite that I have. 5. And iron peak. 5. And I'm also going to go right here and just do that. And just place wood in that. Yeah, that's what we have, lemonite. Keep those going for whatever they need, and you can keep going for whatever you have. It's not going to do anything. I 100% guarantee you it's not going to do anything, Wilmer. Knowing enough about how this game works, it would look pretty, but it's not going to do anything. Like, I've done this before, and it's worked just fine. So it's one of those, like, I could keep fucking with it, or I could just go, well, I guess that's not going to work, so I'm just going to go with that assumption. No, Necropolis would imply that it's like a city, right? This is just like a place what we make Necromancer in. Or what we make Necromancer do thing in. Better Dwarf. The Secret Mountain Home. Oh, that's a good name. It's like the Secret Garden, but instead it's a mountain home. Chance and practice and questions about the tower. I want to say chance and practice is just like about the odds of winning an XCOM. Let's check Secret Mountain Home. It's entitled Secret Mountain Home. It concerns the Fortress of Brasspleet. Yeah, that's not what I need. We're gonna have a big-ass library when I finally finish all this. There's 2 Gorlaks in cages, chat. I don't know what I'm gonna do with them. Maybe I should just, like, make them into zombies. Maybe we can make friendly Gorlak zombies if I get lucky. Would require a lot of luck, though. Actually, you know what? I'm not going to do any of that constructing. Let's cancel all this. I just have too many dwarves. Too many dwarves and not enough time. Or rather, too many tasks for these dwarves, I guess is maybe the better way to put it. Let's also get rid of that. Today I learned you can select what type of wood you want to make into charcoal. That's interesting. Are you doing chicken fried rice tonight for Din Din? I don't know what I'm doing for tonight for Din Din. Probably pasta. I've got some nice pesto that I want to use. Forge iron pick, dwarves. Get to it. All right. Another classic Italian win. I didn't realize that Italians classically win. Let's just get a few different dwarves working on mining. You go up here, I think, and grab just something random. Why is there teeth everywhere? It's King Cobra teeth. Hold up. Which of my King Cobras has no teeth? I'm gonna name you Toothless. And put you somewhere special. His eyes have dents? Ow! That can't feel good. Someone has lost a bunch of teeth. Who is you? His tail is mangled beyond recognition. That's sad. His head is dented. Sorry, but like a king cobra with a dented head just sounds very funny to me. You've got dents. His teeth is gone. His teeth is gone. I'm sorry, but that's so sad. It's like the segmented worm Forgotten Beasts where their body, each of their segments of body have a brain in it. And so if you hit them literally anywhere, it destroys their brain. Which kills them. I think he got into a fight with a troglodyte, actually. So this will speed things up quite a bit. Apparently we know a few facts about buzzard training. Oh yay, some more migrants have arrived. Be merry, says Cog. Well, clearly you haven't been here yet. Got Millbill. Raoul. Some reindeer. Some yak. Glad they brought lunch with them. A docketer. Another yak. Another reindeer. Competent Speardorf. You two can join that squad and we can increase the number of books we can acquire. Is it time for a second squad? No, I'm just expanding the first one. Because there was only 4 dwarves in the first one so far. Now they're going to get back out. Although, let's see what they just brought back. The Tower Without Limits, Master of the Composition, Captivated by the Tower, and More People! Sorry, that's a funny name. More people, hey? More people, more problems. Now, this is what I'm talking about. Although, I will say, this is actually like... I need to start farming, I guess. This is a big enough siege. Or not siege. This is a big enough migrant wave. I need to start farming. How about I just do like this? And we'll just get farming down there. And also let's go down here and just do this. Go up here, do this. And do all that. Just gather everything that's accessible. And there they go. Gonna bucket brigade it? Yeah. I need to make buckets, though. I don't really have many buckets is kind of the issue at the moment. Thankfully, we're like not even remotely short on food. There's not a lot of trees to cut down, so the elves can't get angrily easily, but that is also quite literally the downside, right? Oh shit! We got our first strange mood. She only just arrived, I presume. Yep, she's been here for like less than a week. And strange mood beginneth. I presume she's gonna go make something out of those metal bars. 13. Port tech pain. We started with 14 and then 1 got lost in adventure mode and now we're down to 13. And as far as cobras go, yes. Cinnabar gizzard stones. Iron bar and cinnabar gizzard stones. Any bets on what that dwarf makes, chat? Actually, no, I might not bucket brigade it. I might just use a pump, because I do actually have a pump. Yeah. A metal turban. That... Huh. What would that even entail? What would that even look like? I'm having a hard time imagining that, I guess. Maybe like a chainmail turban? I guess that tinfoil hat, sure. Man, an iron throne would be great. This is a 1-tile fort. We don't use the word chunk, that's a Minecraft term. But yeah, no, this is the equivalent of like a 1 chunk or like singular map. It's just that. Oh, here come my squaddies back. Let's see what they got. The hidden meaning of the agreement, the mystery of the dwarves, brass plate in the age of myth, common sense mountain halls, and the world of mountain halls. Okay, dwarves, we can do better. Getty back outie. Go getting me more things. And I also need to do this. Imagine that their Master Dwarf passion, that they do the whole strand spinning thing for adamantine, but with regular bars of metal. Oh, yeah. So Besmer, the metal crafter, has created Shagtagzul Agamoval, an iron figurine of Ikithi, Veil Riddles, the Stormy Ferocity, and offers it to the bloated Baker of Cooks. Well, I don't know what that is, so I'm gonna place a pedestal right there. No. Tarantos. I don't actually think that my bot has that capability. Like a barrel or a water skin? Well, they were in jugs, and dwarves can drink from jugs. So I have no way of putting it in a barrel now. So we're just kind of SOL, unfortunately. But I don't think so, because I definitely did this style before where I dumped it out of containers to put it all in one place. So this has worked in the past for me. So I don't think it needs to be in a container they can drink from. Because they can drink directly from any vessel that holds liquids. I've seen them drink alcohol from jugs before, too. This is a figurine of Icky the Veil Riddles, the Dwarf, the Stormy Ferocity. All craft store ship is of the highest quality. It is a masterfully designed image of Icky Thicky's The Stormy Ferocity, the Minotaur in iron by Bessemer. Icky Thicky is, I'm just going to keep calling them Icky Thicky. The Stormy Ferocity is traveling. The artwork relates to the wandering of the Minotaur, Icky Thicky, the Stormy Ferocity in the field of Strapping in the early spring of 118. It is encircled with bands of oval cinnabar cabochons. On the item is an image of a lime tree in iron. Yeah, I'm just not going to worry about it too much in Megaloaf. I mean, if it's not working, it's not working. They may have, like, patched it out because it's not an intended thing. I don't know. Or it may have been an unintended consequence of an unrelated patch. It's not working. We're just going to leave it at that. I'm going to stop losing sleep over it. Because I lose enough sleep naturally anyway. I don't need to lose more. A strapping young Minotaur, if you will. I mean, sure, Elf. He is sloppy with his living space and not the type to fall in love or even develop positive feelings. He lacks confidence in his abilities and is currently more confident. He is trusting and enjoys being in crowds. He's somewhat quarrelsome and quick to anger, tends to hang on to grievances, and doesn't mind a little too much discord in day-to-day living. Doesn't go out of his way to help others and tends to assume that the worst of two outcomes will be the one that comes to pass. And he takes offered help and gets without feeling particularly grateful. He's not particularly interested in what others think of him, and he is currently more shameless. He needs alcohol to get through the working day and likes working outdoors, but grumbles mildly at bad weather. Doesn't really care about anything anymore. He dreams of creating a great work of art and personally finds friendship burdensome and values peace over war. He likes brass and pink tourmaline and two-humped camel bone and gems and bucklers and amulets and the words of the Auburn of Boulders and the sight of the euphoric styles and when possible prefers to consume carrot wine and onions and absolutely hates blood gnats. You are friends with Bootlegger the Gremlin and Volbach, and that's it. Also, I wonder... Okay, never mind. I was curious for a second, but... And... Any speculation on the temple defense magic? Nope. Because I have absolutely no idea how the hell they would implement that. I don't like to speculate. And try not to. So. Because I've learned in the past that that's how I get really disappointed. Especially stuff that's, like, actively coming. So I will wait for, like, 3 months or whatever until we just see what it looks like. Because I think that's just smarter. Much more interested in, like, looking at what's actively being worked on currently, because that's more interesting to me anyway. Thoughts on the mountain home, the tower, the future of Tosid, thoughts on the dwarf, choose Mizbuth, and recluse lulls. Watch me not be able to find it. Because that could absolutely be, like, possible. So, oopsies. I just about misclicked and banned Alf. Oops. I have done that before, but man, it's been a minute. So I thankfully didn't. I literally like lost track of my mouse on the screen. The things that I do when I have a headache, chat. What book am I looking for? One, what can contain the secrets of life and death? Is the book that I'm looking for. I'm trying to see if I can zombify the majority of the fort, but also do it safely so that I don't, you know, how do I word this? Also release a bunch of nightmares into my fort and also hopefully capture nightmares if I do release them into my fort. That's the hope here. Feels so inept when you have a headache? Yeah. I think it's honestly, I'm pretty sure it's just the sudden change in temperature because like last night was the coldest night that we've had so far this year by about 5 degrees. And it's cold enough today that I turned the heat on. I generally never turn the heat on, which is weird. But this apartment that I live in now is a corner unit on the top floor. So I only share one wall with a neighbor. Whereas my old unit, every single wall I had, except with the exception of my floor, I shared with a neighbor. Well, and also the hallway, but that was the hallway. I love being in late November 2007. Any speculation on the housing securities market? Honestly, I don't know if I have the vocabulary to say. Like, even knowing what happened to Harsh, past tool in YouTube chat. Yeah, I don't know if I was... Where was I in November 2007? I was too busy, like, being in Scouts to really worry about that. I mean, I was up pretty late last night editing, so maybe something to do with that, Dracogen? I don't know. I could also be getting sick. That is definitely a possibility. But I don't know. Let's go here and place this. Let's place a floor grate right there. Oh, I mean, I know what they're called. I don't know if I actually have the vocabulary to, like, say anything of substance aside from, like, responding to the meme. Or, like, the joke question, I guess. Living room and kitchen on the southern side and an elderly woman living under you. Yeah, it's been cold the last few weeks, but your apartment is nice and warm. I used to live next door to a lady from Mexico in my old building. And I don't think she ever turned the heat off even in the summer. Like, her boyfriend used to come over in the summer and then just, like, I'd see him outside smoking and I'd be like... Yeah, well, I'd say hi because I sort of knew him. And he would be like, man, I can't even go in there for longer than 30 minutes. It's like, Like it's like 25 degrees in there, and it's like not even that hot outside. It's like 21 or something outside. He's like, it's like 29 degrees inside. He's like, she's happy when it's in the mid 30s. I'm like, that's not okay. She was a lovely neighbor though. She kept my apartment nice and warm in the winter. Because I'm like comfortable at 15 degrees Celsius. So I don't actually need that much temperature, although I do try to keep my place a little bit warmer than that purely because I have tropical plants that get upset below 15 degrees, so. It is played primarily with the mouse. If you just hold down the right mouse button, or the center mouse button, you can move the camera without WASD. You can actually play this fully with the mouse. All right, so I want a lever right here. So I'm going to have to do that. Now, there is an issue with this. Okay, I'm not going to be able to do this with a drawbridge. So don't build a drawbridge. Because if I do this with a drawbridge, drawbridges take 10 ticks to flip. Whereas that support will go instantly. So I just need to connect this to a cage and this to that. Otherwise, it'll just kill whoever. Must have been plainness. Otherwise, it will just... If they summon something dangerous, it'll just kill them. I also feel like I'm doing a terrible job explaining shit today. Plus 15C is already freezing. It's like... I'm guessing right now, maybe 12 degrees in this room right now, and I'm in a t-shirt. So, like, that's where I'm comfortable. Although I do have a computer that is jetting hot air up my arm right now, so there is that. Like, I kind of have a mini space heater right here. So, that helps. Am I hyped for the Dirge update? You mean the Siege update? I mean, dirges are fun. It's fun music sometimes. No, actually, I don't want that there. I mean, in the 70s, they had a lot of, like, fashionable things to build that actively, like, made insulation worse, so. Also going to turn this on for a moment. Oy vey. My bad. Sorry about that. Okay, so you're going to come over here and you're going to fill this up with water real quick. And that's probably good. Yep, that's plenty. Almost too much. Thank you. In regards to the bless you. Just gotta let this spread out a little bit. Drain the water mostly. And this is where we're gonna farm. Just have to wait for the water to dry up. which will be easy enough once this all gets cleared out. I was just gonna bucket brigade it, but you know, just literally, we have a steady stream of water right there. Why bother? Why bother? 1935 house. That is entirely too old. It's funny, like, I had somebody mention, it's like, wow, you live in kind of an old building, eh? Relatively recently, and it's like, the apartment I live in was built in 2007. 1935, eh? I mean, my building is concrete, but... Well, actually, my building was reconstructed in 2007. The frame of it was built in... I think it was 1956? Yes, of course. A buzzard has stolen an elk bird brain. I hope it was dead. Because, yes, of course. Naturally. How else... What else would it be doing? Oh, fuck this game, man. I think that this game is making my brain rot. Well, maybe just today is making my brain rot. Because my head hurts. Brrr. Chat room, my head hurts, and I can't think properly. This is entirely too short of a stream. I've only been live for 4 hours and 43 minutes, but I think I should just call it. I'm like fading kind of quick. I really want to just sit here and finish this thing, but like I'm gonna fuck something up if I just keep at this rate. So I think that, like, we should just
Get well.
call it for the day. I'll be on tomorrow at the usual time, and we'll make some more progress into this fort. I'm going to go, like, sit in a dark room for, like, an hour, and then get some recording done on the next big video. I know that you're saying can't, Stone, but sometimes your typing confuses me. I'm like, I don't drive. What are you talking about? Yeah, no, I mean, we got this little river built. So we got this running. We got space ready for farming. Population has gone up quite considerably. We have like 30-something dwarves now. I've got the beginning of this looking good. We've done quite a bit of blocking for this side, so that's good. I haven't done anything super deep down. We'll have to get to that tomorrow. But yeah, we will build the necro pit, and the fort will continue on the flip side. Shark Jumping Walrus, thanks for the $1. And Naprox, thank you very much for the Prime. I appreciate you too. It just needs a whole bunch of